What's up guys, and welcome back to another world tour video. You're joining me here once again in my creative world number 3. This is going to be the 5th time around that I tour this world. These are really adding up. They're not coming out as frequently as I'd like, but hey, that's okay. Leave them for a special occasion. So I have another row of stuff to show you guys. Shall we get started? I think we'll get started. Oh, I should say that if you guys stick around until the end of the video, I do have another world to hop into. I have something a little special to show you guys, but that's going to be at the very end of the video. So the first thing that we have on this brand new row here is my Quartz House number 12, I believe. I think that this is Quartz House number 12. I find it really difficult to keep in touch with how many of whatever different houses I've made. I think that we're in the double digits, and I think that it's number 12. I don't think I've hit 13 just yet. This is very much in the style of some of my very first Quartz houses. A little bit crazier, a little bit more unpredictable, but still kind of a nice solid base shape of a cube. It's kind of based on one of the very first wooden houses that went up on the channel, actually. It was completely inspired by that. Really nice looking quartz house, if I do say so myself. Pretty cool from most angles. Looks even nicer with a garden, and it's actually pretty decent on the interior. You can have a second floor in here, and it's actually a semi-practical house. There is a tutorial for this house on the channel. If you guys want to find it, I will include my house tutorial playlist in the description, and I will tell you guys, I'm pretty sure that this is Quartz number 12, Quartz House 12, but I might be wrong about that, but it's the last Quartz house that I made anyway. I might make separate playlists for each different type of house I make, but that's the first thing. Moving on, after I made my quartz house, I actually made this directly after. This is actually wooden house number 10. This went up a few days ago, although I made the tutorial and I made this house probably 2 weeks ago. Pretty nice looking house, pretty decent design. I've not exactly seen another house which looks exactly like this. I think that I kind of just pulled this out of my own imagination. Quite a few of my houses are sometimes kind of built upon different ideas that I've seen around Google and what have you, but this one was a lot more spontaneous. It was kind of just pulled out of my mind, and I think it's pretty cool, and it actually leads on to the next house that I'll be showing you guys. But this is wooden house number 10. There's actually a tutorial for this on the channel if you guys want to look for it. Really easy house to make, really nice. I like it. And I'm telling you guys, it looks 40% better with a garden, and on the actual video itself, I also include a few bushes up here, and it makes it look really cool, really nice looking house once it's all done. Moving on, after I made Wooden House 10 over there, I immediately created Wooden House number 11, which is an obvious evolution of Wooden House number 10, and I'm not entirely sure which one I like better. The whole idea behind this house right here, let me stop. Wooden House number 10 was kind of like, I want to make a house, and then I just want to cut like a cross section of the house off, which I did. I cut off half of the roof. I then decided that I kind of wanted to do a similar sort of thing with Wooden House number 11 here, except I kind of wanted to separate like the house. I kind of like wanted to have half of one house one side and half of one house the other side, and I think it's a really cool effect. And again, I've not seen a house which exactly entirely looks like this. It's a pretty simple concept, but it's a pretty cool idea, and like I said, I've not seen it before. This is probably going to be the next wooden house that gets a tutorial. It currently doesn't exist. As a matter of fact, if you guys want a nice little sneak preview, if you guys can see that quartz house over there, the one that kind of looks like a staircase, a differentiation of that house is actually going up on Saturday, and then maybe the Saturday after, this one will go up. Who knows? No tutorial for this, sometime soon in the future because I really like it. Moving on, here we have a SpongeBob statue. After you guys hated, and I mean hated, the original SpongeBob statue that I make, it was more of a skin statue rather than an actual statue. I decided that I wanted another crack at it. As a great lover of SpongeBob, I didn't feel as though I did my duty in making my original SpongeBob statue, so I immediately went away and I began work on this. well, I didn't immediately go away. I left it for about a month, and then I went to work on this, and I was pretty happy with it. It's a pretty easy to make, nice, large, scaled down version of SpongeBob himself. You guys didn't seem to entirely like this guy. He kind of has mixed reviews, actually. I'd say he probably has like 10% dislikes, something like that. So you guys aren't loving him, but you're not hating him as much as the SpongeBob skin statue, which I call as a win. Whilst he does look ever so slightly creepy, I think he looks pretty good, and he looks pretty close to SpongeBob if you ask me. Of course, you could change a couple of colours, maybe change the colour of his eyes, maybe make him a little bit wider. I'm not entirely sure, maybe mess about with his hands a little bit, but hey, you know, I'm sure that you can tweak everything I make. But there is a tutorial for SpongeBob. This guy right here on the channel, didn't post him too long ago, probably within the last 2 weeks. You'll get a lot of stuff coming up on my channel with this, but if you search for SpongeBob, just like how to make SpongeBob, he should hopefully be the first thing that comes up if you like him and you want to make him. He's pretty simple to make. Moving on. Okay guys, I have finally, and I think finally, gotten most of the way to making the Chumbucket. So this is what I have for the lower part of the Chumbucket. I decided that, again, after waiting a significant amount of time, I wanted to try and make the Chumbucket again. I think I have finally perfected the lower part of the bucket part of the bucket. I quite like this. All I now have left to do, and this is also somewhat difficult, and I know that it's taken a lot of time in between, it's because I don't really dedicate a lot of time to building things that I don't really, I don't know, I'm not 100% feeling the love for the Chumbucket at the moment, my love for the Chumbucket. I don't know, I've been trying to make it so long, I don't know, I don't want to devote loads and loads of time to making it, but I think I'm almost done with it. I can quite easily make the handle, and how the handle connects to the Chumbucket. I've now made the lower part. All I have to do is perfect the fist that kind of hangs above it. And I'm going to give that another crack this week, and hopefully, if I manage to make that look halfway decent, I will eventually release the Chumbucket tutorial, and it's been a long time coming, but the reason that I've not done it is because I've just never been happy with it. It's as simple as that. It's the same reason why I've never done a Sandy's Treehouse tutorial. It's because I would never get it looking how I'd like it, to put things simply, but I think I'm making some headway with the Chumbucket. The lower half is made, I just have to make the fist. I know how to make the handle, and I know how to make it look as how I like it, but hopefully that'll be coming sometime soon. We'll see. Moving on. I then decided that I wanted to make a Steve statue. By the way, completely ignore the fact that his face is one colour and his arms are another colour. I've been testing which I like better, sandstone or white stained clay for a skin tone. I myself prefer sandstone, but I think that the majority of you guys prefer white stained clay. So I'm gonna start using white stained clay for the Steve white coloured skin tone, for the white skin. I prefer sandstone, and I suppose it really is a personal preference, but I'm gonna start using white stained clay. And as a matter of fact, I made a tutorial for this guy, who I'm going to call Adventurer Steve, or Explorer Steve. I made a tutorial for this guy. It's not yet up on the channel, but I have made a tutorial for him. He's a really cool statue, in my opinion. I've never made a Steve statue other than Diamond Armor's Steve that's just, just Steve, just all by his lonesome. And I don't plan on it, so I wanted to make an adventurer version of Steve where he's got the diamond sword in one hand and he's got the torch in the other hand. Whenever I think of Steve wandering through the caves, I always imagine him with his sword in one hand and the torch in the other. So there's a tutorial for this guy coming soon. Very nice looking statue. I think it's a little bit of a different spin than you'd usually find on the traditional Steve statues. It's freaking me out that his face is one colour and his arms are another colour. Let's move on. No tutorial for him yet, but trust me, it's coming soon. It's already made, it just has to be uploaded sometime this week. Guys, I finally did it. Are you happy? Are you happy now? I finally did the creeper statue. This is the first creeper statue that I have ever made. I actually made two of them. I have first here the patterned creeper, this is a more realistic version of the creeper. If you wanted to get technical, look at a creeper, They're all weird different shades of colours. It's white, dark green, light grey, like 4 different types of green, and you eventually end up with something that looks a little bit like this, which is what I have in front of me. And I made it. It pained me to make it, guys. It pained me to make it, but I did it for you guys. You guys are requesting a creeper all the time. I'm going to make a tutorial for this guy, maybe even tomorrow. But not only did I do a patterned creeper, I also decided to do just a plain version of him as well. I decided to do a plain version. You know, if you guys aren't massively into doing the patterned version, which is going to take a long time and it's going to be irritating to make, don't I know it? I'm going to have to make a tutorial for it. I also decided to do a plain version because why not? Just in case you guys wanted a nice simple version of him, I've also made this, which will probably take no time to make whatsoever, and I will probably do a tutorial for this alongside the detailed creeper over there, and I'll probably upload both of them on the same day at the same time, just so that you guys have yourself a nice little bit of a choice. But there you go. Or maybe I'll upload them like one day apart from each other. Maybe something like that. Maybe like the plain one. Maybe I'll upload it with like a parkour video or something like that. But we'll see. They'll be uploaded when I make the tutorials for them. They're not yet made. Very close to each other. Hopefully you guys like them. I actually do quite like the patterned one. A lot better than the plain one. But again, a lot of this stuff's personal preference anyway. I'm glad that I finally got the creeper out of the way. Here we have a Cauldron statue. Nothing too much to say about this. It's just your standard Cauldron. You might be able to see the item on the floor over there. I decided to fill it with water, contemplated filling it with lava. Pretty standard statue. This thing hasn't gone up yet. I've made a tutorial for it. I've just not posted it yet. It will be going up sometime in the future if you guys are into this sort of stuff. I personally love making items. I think you guys like the items as well. They kind of go up whenever, but a tutorial has been made for the Cauldron, and well, you guys will be seeing it sometime in the future. Here we have Vicstar123, or as I just call him Vicstar. You guys will have already seen a tutorial for this guy on my channel. I've decided to start making YouTubers again. I started with popular MMOs, and I moved my way all the way over to Vicstar, which is the second YouTuber that I've made in quite a long time. Very nice looking statue. Oh, there's actually a block missing. Can you guys see the lighter purple clay? There's just a block missing on the back of his legs. That's kind of weird. Anyway, very nice looking statue. He's like mainly clay. He's like 70% clay, like 30% wool, 10% love, 30% respect. Anyway, a pretty nice looking statue. There's a tutorial of him on the channel if you're into making YouTubers. Very, very highly requested, as is, and don't worry guys, he'll be coming soon as well. What's his name? Exploding TNT? You guys will know who I'm talking about. Very popular YouTuber. Something TNT. I'll be doing him sometime soon as well. Popular MMOs, TNT, Vicstar. They're all kind of on the same sort of level of request, and I'll be getting him done soon. But tutorial for this guy on the channel if you guys want to make him. Then I kind of went on like an item spree. Then I started just making items. I don't know why. So I started with a door, which is a pretty mundane idea, right? Making a door statue. But am I the only one that likes this? Am I the only one that kind of likes the door statue? That kind of thinks this is cool? Am I the only one? I might be the only one. Do I have a door down here? I don't have a door down here to show you guys, but let's place a door. What are we doing? Are we in a rush when we make these videos? Are we in a massive rush? You guys know that I like to make these videos and talk for a really long time. I don't think we're in any form of rush. So I decided to make a door statue. It's pretty dead on. I mean, the colours aren't 100% colour matches. Like, it's kind of difficult to find all of the colours in the door, but it's a pretty cool looking statue. I didn't expect it to be. I kind of just made it for the fun of it, but I actually really like this thing. The door makes a really cool looking statue, and I'll probably make a tutorial of this sometime soon because I really like it. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe it's just me, but no tutorial yet, sometime soon though. Here we have a Nether Star, I believe. Nothing too much to say about this. Not made a tutorial for it yet. I just wanted to make some items to tell you guys the truth, see how they'd look. This one looks pretty good, if you ask me. Unfortunately, we can't make it sparkle, but, you know, those are the breaks. Here we have a name tag. I was just picking random items that kinda looked cool. Here's the name tag, pretty decent match. No tutorial for this yet, maybe ever, who knows, I just made it for the fun of it. Same thing here for Bottle O Enchanting, I believe the item is called, although this does look pretty cool. Again, no tutorial for this just yet, maybe sometime in the future, who knows. I just like making items, again, just to say it one more time. And then I decided to make... I decided to make a giant version of the diamond sword. Why? You know, I do these things. I've got no clue why, because I felt like it, to be honest with you guys. I decided to make a big giant version of the diamond sword. There it is. No tutorial for this guy as of yet, but maybe sometime soon in the future, maybe not too far off. I'm not entirely sure, we'll see. I think that I might actually break down and finally, after years of asking, I think I might do like a set of diamond armor and stuff, and do like a tutorial for like all of the weapons and all of the armor and what have you. You guys have been asking for it for quite a long time. I still get the requests every day. I think I might break down and finally do it for you guys. Why not? Even though that there's 1,000 other tutorials on YouTube, you guys want mine, I'll deliver. And then finally, the last guy in this row is, I believe his name is Little Lizard Gaming. I'm not 100% entirely familiar with this YouTuber, but I can tell you that I really like his skin. He appears to be wearing pretty much a lizard onesie, and I like it. I like the skin a lot. I'm not sure if he's the next YouTuber that I'll be making a tutorial for. I think he's a very popular YouTuber, actually. I think he's got several million subscribers, but I'm not entirely familiar with his channel. All I know is I very much like his skin, and he makes a really cool looking statue, so odds are he'll probably be showing up sometime in the near future, probably after exploding TNT, if that's the guy's name. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, I don't keep in touch with these guys, but that is the last thing in this row, that is the last statue, and as promised, I do have one last thing to show you guys. Let me hop in to my other world so that I can show you guys what we have left. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. Can you guys tell what this is? This is pretty much a full-scale replica of an ender portal. This is as close as I could get to it at the very least. Sometime soon in the future, you guys are going to see an ender portal frame tutorial. In that tutorial, I eventually got to the end and I said something stupid along the lines of, hey, why don't I put all of them together and why don't I make like a mock ender portal, just for funsies? And that kind of started, I don't know, probably about an hour and a half's worth of misery. These are 12 separate ender portal frames, all stacked together in the proper positions with a massive bed of obsidian built on top of them. And this is just a big giant version of an ender portal, and the reason that I wanted to include it in this world tour is because I'm afraid that not that many of you guys are going to see it otherwise. I don't think that many of you guys will be watching the ender portal frame, only those of you that really like the item tutorials as I do. That's perfectly fine, but I wanted more of you guys to see this because I spent a lot of time on it, and I think that's actually really cool. It's quite massive. It really is. I can't tell you how many blocks is included in it, but it's kind of huge. Spent a lot of time, kind of a big deal, to me at the very least. Gave me a massive headache making it, but I really enjoy the end result of this thing. Let me give you guys a sideways view again, just to end this. So, guys, this will be the end of my Creative World 3/5th tour around. Thanks for watching, guys. Look how big this is, and I will see you guys in the next video, in the next tour, whenever that may be. Who knows? It depends how much stuff I get cracking along with.